is what happens when I try to fix the camera at me. This is what happens when I face the camera away. Camera away. I was thinking of, like, I was being asked to do a reading for Scorpios. And I'm like, why? They're like, poison. And I'm like, what poison? And they're saying to describe poison. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to describe poison. So I'm thinking of the word for poison in the languages I know. One of them is Semma. Semma means poison. Seminna means she will poison. Seminate means you will be poisoned, but in a masculine form. This is in old languages, close to like Farsi, Aramaic, Assyrian, like old, thousands of years old languages, okay? And then I'm like, wait a minute, that sounds like semen. And then while I'm thinking this, like, wait a minute, why does the word semen sound like semma or semen? Like, are the men with the semen poisoning the women? Because ovari means something else too. Ava, OVA, means him over there, masculine, pointing to someone over there, Ava. Avari, Vari, Viri, Vira, Varela, those words, they mean to enter. She entered, he entered. Or is entering. In ancient languages, okay, I tried to look for words on different sites, and you can research the etymology or whatever it's called yourself. Do your own research. This is what I know for fact. So ovari, avavare, means he who entered. He entered me. Think about that for a second. Semma, the semen, vara, ovary, vara, entered into the ovary. And the ovary, literally in the ancient language, means he entered me. But if semen enters the ovary, and semen is the word for poison, then that means the poison carrier is the man. Because the woman is capable of parthenogenesis. She does not need semen from a man. She creates her own. Research this. And then I'm researching other things, like in the modern history that you guys know, which is mostly false. I'm looking through it, and I'm noticing stories about Yaldabaoth, the kingdoms, and the sons of God, and how they've given all rulership of, different regions of the earth. And they're like, rulers. Archon means rulers. Archons are the sons of God. God is Yaldabaoth. That is the creator of this universe. His sons are the Archons. The Archons are the rulers. The rulers were appointed to regions of the earth. The earth is Sophia. Sophia is connected to Barbello. Both Barbello and Sophia and Mother Mary are known as the Virgin, the Immaculate One, the Pure One. Jesus Christ is also known as the perfect human, the perfect man, which means he is a combination of the earth and the Archon. Sabaoth is the sun, the current ball of fire we have in the sky. He is a son of God, an S-O-N and an S-U-N. He is a redeemed archon in all these texts, right? Well, if you research the story and the Nag Hammadi scriptures and everything else and put the pieces together, that means Venus is a son of God, Jupiter is a son of God, Kronos is a son of God, Pluto, Uranus, Mercury, Mars, they're all sons of God, right? But Earth is known to be not part of this. It's different than all of them. Something's different with Earth. There's life, there's Zoe, there's Eve. The garden was on Earth. The Fatima is held in a garden in the center somewhere on Earth, like in the center of a fortress somewhere. And she's kept there in the perpetual garden. She is the daughter, she is the Immaculate One. So I'm thinking about all this and I'm putting all the pieces together, and then I'm being told to do a reading about poison and semen. And I've been sitting here for a few minutes having like a smoke and just kind of meditating on this. And it seems like the male of the species is a give me that. Now is not the time for that. You have your other toy. Drop it. Thank you. The male of the species seem to be the sons of God. Like care, and think about it this way. Think about it another way. How do they say archons possess people? They usually possess narcissists, right? And narcissism isn't just in men or women. But the behavior of narcissism is very masculine, isn't it? It's very cold. It's very unemotional. It's very calculating. It's very intelligent. It's very manipulative. It's like poison that's sweet. Remember way in the beginning of this channel, I told you that there was who I was and the memory I carry from the beginning regarding a black ship coming down and a tall, dark, and handsome making a deal with the logos of the planet, which was, ironically enough, me at the time. And you guys were like, oh, she's crazy, she's this, she's that. Well, now, like, all these eons later, I'm sitting here at the other side of the snake biting its tail and going, wait a minute. Wait a minute. And then there's stories of an intergalactic species of some kind, a controlling species, a warlike species from a different place, right? Orion or something like that. And then they came to this solar system and they found this like planet with lush gardens and stuff and pink serpents that were all beautiful, and they looked like women, warrior women, pink snakes, various colors. And I'm really wondering, what if it's as simple as everything? And what if what I've known is actually true? And it's fact. And I am who I say I am. And I look at all this with cold hard facts, right? And I look at the words and what's actually there and what I physically remember and experienced with my own eyes and hands and body. I almost want to cosmic titty slap nearly every single man on the planet, every single woman. Because it's been right in front of our face the entire time. We're already under the light of a redeemed archon. So archons aren't the enemy. The rulers aren't the enemy. The watchers aren't the enemy. They're right alongside us. We sleep next to them. They're the men in our lives. The women in our lives are the daughters of Gaia, the daughters of Eve. Even Eve's children, Cain and Abel, were shown in the beginning. One wasn't like the other. Even the story of Jesus having a twin, one wasn't like the other. But they're twins, identical, born out of purity. How can one be not like the other? But they look the same. You can create clones and androids and replicas, and they look the same, but they're not. You can genetically modify something, and it'll look the same, but it's not. You can take the seeds out of a grape and call them a grape, but they're not grapes anymore, are they? And now we're looking at society with people who are LGBTQ, transgender, male to female, female to male. We have hermaphrodites, we have predominantly female reproductive systems and predominantly male reproductive systems. And then an ambiguous mix of both in various degrees. We have a spectrum of gender identity, we have a spectrum of gender and sexual orientation and all that. But we're still missing the point. Something is poisoning something else, right down to the nutsack and the ovaries we carry, while we're busy about what we're calling each other with those pieces or not having those pieces in certain positions, like a Picasso painting, for example. Is a woman without breasts? Well, the men have mammary glands too, they're just not engorged. So what's the difference? The penis shaft is a clitoris engorged. The scrotum is the labias engorged and closed like a clamshell. The testicles are ovaries held within the labia and not within the, what is that? The uterus, the womb, that area, the ram's head. And then you reverse the ram's head and you get the horns holding the testicles, not the ovaries. And the shaft isn't inside creating a tunnel, it's outside creating a shaft. So there's no difference, but something is different. I'm technically not male or female. I'm kind of like both? I don't know. I apologize for the angle. I don't really know what the fuck I'm supposed to do about this. So, there's all these questions. There's all these meanings. But men aren't inherently evil or good, neither are women. But inherently, there's no difference in either. There's no difference in a narcissist from an empath. The only difference is how they utilize their emotions. There is no difference between service to self or service to other. The other is the self. The self is the other. You can't fill one cup without it overflowing. You can't take from another cup without overflow reaching that other cup. Harming others ends up harming ourselves. So it goes right back to semen, semna, ovaries, the spark of life. A woman, genetically, physiologically, someone with ovaries on the inside does not require the presence of semen. Yet the male on this planet in civilization is glorified as king and ruler to a planet that already had a queen and rulers. And they came down and swiped everything, swiper no swiping, blinded the race spiritually, split them in two, interbred with them, and then erased memories, and then said, welcome to your prison planet, when it doesn't even belong to them. And they're not necessary, and without the woman they can't reproduce. So they try to live forever. And then some men are literally cutting and running to the female side because they know the rightful heirs to this planet are the daughters of Gaia, not the sons of God. Because the sons of God have rightful rulership to something else. They become luminaries. They become sons of God. While the daughters of God, the daughters of Gaia, we become something akin to Amazons, matriarchs, creatresses, creating more sons of God. It becomes a symbiotic connection between nature and the light, the sun touching the leaves. It grows and it creates seed. That seed creates worlds. Those worlds redeem themselves somehow for whatever they think, or they glorify and raise and support others. They do something to climb the ladder of life and become luminous because they become full of light. So they start from matter as the seed, the mother, and they go up to become the light, which means they don't belong on planet Earth. They are guests. They are seeds planted in the soil, in the soul of the Great Mother, within her womb, her ovary, her earth, her heart. Through the tear in the cosmos, which we look at as a tear in the Milky Way galaxy, something, but for all we know, it's the opening of the great cosmic vagina. If we're in the great cosmic womb, what is a giant opening in the sky? Obviously an exit. Or the pleroma, the eternal realm. What is that? Oh, the realm where there's no time? You mean outside the womb, the physical realm, within the being of the body, the God, the Barbella, the All, the Source. And from the All came the Four. From the Four came the rest. And then it's been replicated and copied here in this realm by the sons of God, which came from the daughters who are connected to Sophia. Wisdom, which is connected to Will, the first, which is connected to Barbello, which is connected to the All. So you bring that end of the tail to this end of the tail, and then to that end of the head, and to this end of the head, like how, whatever you want to look at this Ouroboros or infinity loop. And you realize enough is enough, isn't it? That's what the wheat and the tares are. That's what the chaff or whatever is, you know? Hold on. Lily's being a little bitch again. Come here. Lay down. Come here. That cat, with one swipe, little boy, can end you. That cat. Behind that table. See her? And he thinks he can fight her or play with her because he has testosterone coursing through his body. His little trouble puffs are growing in, so he thinks he can take on the world. Even in high school, women mature faster. Women are just known to mature faster. And then that's the other thing that leads me back to the LGBTQ thing. The predominant gender on this planet is women, which means lesbians are the natural state, which also means that the sons that were birthed, the male from the female that was actually a hermaphrodite, is also capable of inverting the penis and the testicles back into a vaginal state. It is part of the reptilian DNA within the structure. It's a genome that's activated. Everybody can do this. You can swap back and forth. You're a reptilian being. You've been told you have a reptilian brain, haven't you? Make it work for you. So the problem isn't with men or women. The problem isn't with color, skin, gender identity, or any of that stuff. The problem is with denial of the self. There are men and women living as the opposite expression of who they are, and it's causing discord in the tapestry. There are oracles who are out in the world constantly giving advice to the women, ignoring the men. There are others who are going to use this information and steal it and make channels for themselves just for men, and they will give absolutely no credit to me where they heard it here right now. But they will attempt to make money from it, because they also have massive amounts of test, ost, error through them. The test chemical. Can you overcome this archontic energy within you called testosterone? It tests your bones. Hence why when you take estrogen, the genes of the stars, and you're not testing the star genes, you're actually releasing the star genes. When you can balance and regulate that, that's the alchemical process of turning poison into medicine, isn't it? Which brings us right back to the beginning of this video. The word for poison. Semme. Semen. What has been a plague across this planet? The way men behave towards women. And then what do the women do? Fight back. What do they get? Demonized. Abused. And then when they do the abusing and demonizing, what do they get? Burned at the stake. Raped. Impregnated. And then what do they get? Their children taken away from them. And what then happens? Their children get raped and eaten or killed. So explain to me who the real problem is. A Yaldabaoth and Archons, or the actions that those being tested within their chemical structure are committing. Men and women have testosterone. Therefore, it has nothing to do with the gender. It is irrelevant who you are fucking. It is irrelevant who you are being fucked by. It is irrelevant what is in your pants and what your reproductive organs are, or what you call yourself with those reproductive organs. Genetically, it is fucking irrelevant, because the human body is designed to self-replicate. Your cells do it all the time. It's part of your design. It's just been tampered with. Not by Archons, not by reptilians, because those are your family, but by man. The same men who sign your paychecks. The same men who steal from you. The same men who make you bow down before their shaft and record you as they threaten you. The same men who gossip, lie, cheat, steal, murder, rape, abuse, pillage, plunder, and then call it their kingdom. The same men. So I propose not another fucking feminist movement, not another bullshit, but can we just fucking cut the charade? Just cut it out. Enough is enough. There would be no men without a womb. None. So unless you plan to eradicate all women and start cloning yourselves and having your little boy club fuck each other up the ass 24/7 while you call yourselves elite, I suggest you start treating women with more dignity. And those of you who are women, I suggest you stop being bitches to each other and to the men in your lives, because it's fucking undignified for the images made in the images of the great god and the great goddess and their children, for you guys to be such low life cunts. It's disappointing. And to everyone else listening, no matter how many thousands or millions of you there are while you attempt to put a veil over my screen and my channel, no matter how many, even if it's 2 or 3, as some of you have been beautifully commented, You all know exactly what I'm talking about. And it's disappointing that I need to say it. Stop stealing. Stop lying. Stop hurting each other. Stop claiming other people's property as your own. Stop demonizing transgender people because they were the original species here. Stop demonizing hermaphrodites, they were the original species here. Stop demonizing lesbians and gays. The gays are actually part of the rulers, the archons, because they are the sons of God. They have no womb to fuck. They fuck each other in the butt. That's what they do. There is no fucking shame in it. There is a literal fucking prostate gland in there that gives pleasure, just like a clitoris by a vagina. It's done by design. There is nothing to demonize about homosexuality or to glorify about heterosexuality. If anything, heterosexuality shows the weakness of the person inhabiting that body or aware of their body to regulate how they reproduce. They rely on plastic covers, on little thin veils, on pulling out.
Can I get pregnant if I swallow?
Well, technically, you can get pregnant just by sitting there and finding something such a really fucking big turn on that you impregnate yourself. Will that pregnancy come to term? Who knows? But you can do it. Some of you men have consciously been aware that you're pregnant or something's going on in the area where you have or would have a womb, but you think because you're a man you don't have anything in there. So it goes undiagnosed. And then you guys have prostate cancer and wonder why. Whoops. Others of you steal so much and lie so much that you end up decaying your own lifespans. And you wonder, why? Well, this person was this, or that person was that. Well, how much are you stealing? Because if you steal from someone else's life and you steal someone else's life, then from yours it shall be stolen too, right? And for each and everything that's been stolen, for each and every word that's been stolen, for each and everything that's been gained by those stolen things, that means the thief has willingly, by their own law, given up their own experiences, life, blessings, finances, resource, currency, source fractals, energy, and consciousness. Because they took something that doesn't belong to them, which means that something that belongs to them gets taken and given to someone else. An eye for an eye, right? You guys wrote this in your own laws. You wrote it in stone. So, by your own laws of mankind, all thieves, murderers, rapists, abusers, child abusers, pedophiles, fucking liars, thieves, vultures, betrayers, have done everything to yourselves. And the poison that you carry was supposed to be transmuted into light. Hence why there is transgender, so that those born male or female can attempt to change what they perceive to be poisonous within their body to bring it more into alignment with who they are. So you cannot say you have to pay for gender confirming surgery. It is required to be free. Medicine and hormones are required to be free. It is a choice of the living being to alter their body. It is their choice. It should be free. Because money does not belong to you guys either. It is made out of the blood and bone and dirt of this earth. Which means it belongs to the daughters of Gaia, not the sons of God who self-appointed themselves rulers, archons, because they were born out of the womb of the woman, the daughters of Sophia. So do you see the nobility you guys are supposed to be behaving with and acting with integrity? And those of you that are stealing, do you see how you've literally dug your own graves? And you're going to throw yourselves into those graves, and then you're going to just bury yourselves in the things you stole. And the world will never know you existed. You will just be grains of sand in the dust of time. So stop demonizing gay people, stop demonizing lesbians, stop demonizing and abusing each other and children, and for fuck's sake, show some respect to the women in your lives. And if one more transgender person gets hurt on this planet, may the hand that strikes that transgender person have no body attached to it anymore. Stop hurting each other. It's very simple. If you hurt each other, you're not part of this family. You are compost to feed this family. This planet belongs to the daughters of Gaia. Oracles are meant to guide. You are not meant to guide just women or men. You are not meant to steal. You are meant to guide, assist, and give advice. Do not disrespect the name of the gods you stand for and the entities you allow speaking through you by pretending that anything you're doing is original for yourselves, when a majority of you false prophets, false messengers, and false readers have copied information from this specific channel for years. Make things right or get off the planet. It's very simple. And those of you who are innocent bystanders, civilians, and you're just men and women and you're living your lives, there are layers and layers upon the world you live in. It's time you start treating each other better and with more conscious awareness. And acknowledge the old gods. Yes, there is one God here, and you shall revere that God. Absolutely, it's your one and only God. But that God is also a son to a mother who is also a daughter. We are a family. Act like it. The poison within every person is multifaceted, just like every person. So acknowledge within you that which you know harms yourself and takes power from others, and stop doing it. If you're copying from me or stealing from me, everything you gained belongs to me because you gained it with my light. Do you comprehend that? All I have to do is call it back to me, and then you'll be left with everything you started with, like an empty house as a set behind you, with no decorations and nothing to make it home. Because you copied and stole information that you used to purchase those things, and those things belong to me. Because you used what I created. I didn't get anything. The original made no profit. The copies profited. How does that make sense? The only way that can make sense is if the copies are allowed to profit, to generate that profit for the original. Thank you. The Semma inside you, whether it's semen or an addiction or a belief, is meant to be transmuted towards what it truly is. You can't cut it away, you can't rip it away, you can't fuck it away, you can't steal it away. If you are, that's the poison. What does it look like if it's redeemed to you? The sun is a redeemed archon. What did that sun look like before it was luminous? It was a planet with an atmosphere that was charged with good intent, with positive behavior, with benevolence, with doing the right thing despite negative circumstances. Despite the genetic inclination to do harm, that dragon ascended and became a saint. The moon, the original moon, is luminous. It does not reflect light. If it did, you'd go up to the moon and see mirrors and be blinded by everything. But it's a luminous being. It has a glow. It has an atmosphere. That's what glows. The Earth is a star from the distance. It glows due to the atmospheric layers. The clouds, sky, the water, the elements, the spirit, the good intentions. What is a black hole? Something that pulls in all of that because it lacks its own. Or it's a doorway, an ovary, where all the light goes. So reread your Bibles and recognize that those intelligent adults were also talking about semen. They were talking about poison. They were talking about penises. They were talking about vaginas. They were talking about breasts. They were talking about sex. They were talking about fake gods, real gods, liars, abusers, and the human body. And it's been rewritten a lot by the hands of men, not women. Get in your lanes, respect your women, purify your bodies, take care of yourselves and each other, and act like fucking men. Take care of the people in your life. Stop being petty little bitches. And you women, stop being so cunty. It's not cute to be fake. It's a mockery of God's image to be fake. Did God not make you good enough? You had to be me. That's your reading for today. No cards, no channeled messages from whatever entities or whatever the fuck you think I deal with. No, very common, basic fucking truth, facts, logic, definitions of words, connections to the tapestry, your own laws, your own logics, and your own civilization. With your own history, this is what you've done. Real recognizes real. Kindness knows kindness. Which also means the darkness that exists in you, I can see because that darkness also exists in me. So if I can see it, and it exists in me, it exists in everything. So everything sees it. You thieves have not gotten away with anything. Make things right, because you guys have been caught. And you're being given an opportunity to make things right. Justice has already been proclaimed by multiple oracles. These messages I speak on this channel have been copied through multiple sources. The energetic imprint has been tracked. The copies have been noticed. You guys are on warning. Make things right or pack your bags. And again, stop picking on the LGBTQ community. And stop picking on people with different skin tones. I will personally cosmic titty slap you. If one more person with melanin in their skin, or one more person of any religious background or gender identity or physical appearance gets abused by another person, lightning will come. Live in peace or get off the planet.